Thank you so much for having me. Finally, and waiting for me.
So I did see that you're from London, correct?
Yes, I'm from London, born and raised in London, and I'm based there now as well still. I have a studio there, and yeah, I mean, obviously I love London, so I think it's an amazing city. So I love traveling around though as well, having a base in London and then traveling for work, meeting people to work with. Oh, I miss that. God, I just realized how much I missed that bit.
Sure. I know. What a weird time.
Okay.
It looks like stuff is starting to kind of open up. So who knows? Maybe sooner than later.
We will see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Sure.
Which is, you know, probably the most optimistic I've been for a while. So that's good, right?
That is good. That is good. So what was it like growing up in London? Was there a big music scene where you were at?
Yeah, I think the great thing about London is you could go and see basically whatever you want, whenever you want. So you can just experience so many different like genres, artists, different scenes and stuff. Like, I think that like musically growing up in London is amazing. You just honestly, like, the possibilities are pretty much endless. You could probably do something every single night of the week indefinitely. Well, you could like
Yeah.
pre-COVID. Now
Sure.
It's like, is it okay to order from the same takeaway again? I think I'm getting to know the guy a little too well. He kind of shows up as, oh, it's you again. I'm like, yeah, me again. Same stuff. If it ain't broke.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, how did you get into music?
I by accident. I always say by accident. People are like, how do you by accident do that? I was like, yeah, yes, it was actually an accident, but a really happy accident. So I was a really awkward teenager, as most people are. I think if anyone has it planned out by like age 11, then there's something going on there, and I don't know what it is.
Right.
So I was not having a great time in school. I had some things going on, and so I just kind of ended up writing. It's more like, basically it was lyrics, but in my mind it was like poetry, because I thought I was like doing cool poetry stuff, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, you know, kids stuff. Looking back on it now, it was utter shit. So you got to start somewhere, right?
Right,
So,
exactly.
I mean, honestly, if I think about it now, it's so embarrassing. Anyway, so I was doing that, and then I was really, really luckily just fell into this kind of work experience in the music studios, and the people who I met there are still my mentors now, actually.
Wow.
And they were like, "Well, have you thought about this?" And I love singing, like I just as anyone does, just enjoyed, you know, being creative. They're like, "Have you tried this?" And basically, I blame them now. I'm always like, "Guys, you started this. Like, this is your fault." So every time it's like, you know, there's like a hiccup, I'm like, "It's your fault. you made this real." But and literally it was that, and even then I was like, "Damn, this was really cool. I really want to do this." And then because you know, you're at school, it's not always a very obvious career path. You've got like career days, and people are going, right, so if you want to study law, go this. If you want to do that, do this. It's kind of like, small question, what if you wanted to do that? But if you okay, I kind of actually geared up to do a different path, but I was still writing and recording in the meantime as well. So I eventually ended up kind of literally spreading myself too thin over 2 areas. And then my manager was like, "Look, you choose what you want to do, but you have to choose, because you're not giving 100% at either, and we know, well, I know you can do way more either way." So, and I was just like, "Man, this is the easiest decision I've ever been asked to make in my life." And I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna have to call my parents." Like, "Okay, guys, I'm coming home." So I literally was like, "Okay, cool, come on, it's gonna be fine." So I call up, and I'm like, "Guys, okay, big news." They're like, "Oh God, what?" Am I? No, I'm coming home. I'm gonna do music full time. They were like, "Yeah, all right, fine. We thought this was gonna happen."
Oh, wow.
for you tonight. I was like, oh. Well, I was kind of like, I was ready, man. I was ready for the fight. I had like the pros, the cons. I had like all of the potential outcomes. I was like, I'm covered. And they were like, yeah, all right, cool. Pasta for dinner. I was like, yeah.
Pasta for dinner.
And then that was it. Like literally, and like, to be fair, like they've been amazing because like, I mean, any kind of music career has its ups and downs, obviously. And especially when you're starting out, it's like, you know, it can be so like one disjointed, like it really like can basically take your life and flip it upside down in the good way and a bad way. So, I mean, they've just been amazing. I literally was like, P.S. I'm moving home. Yeah, clear out the room. And they were like, yeah, okay, fine. And then in fairness, they were eventually like, you've been here. So, yes, I have.
I've been here a while now.
Oh yeah, God, is that the time? Oh, maybe have you considered? And no, I'm joking. They've been great, and actually, like my mentors and everyone at the studio have been amazing. So I feel very lucky because I think if I'd not had that support, I think I'd still be doing it, but I definitely it would be the most. It would be so much less like rewarding because you get to share in your achievements and like have ideas with people, and like I think that for me like really sealed the deal, if you know what I mean. Like when I quit, when I was like, cool, full-time music, I was like, oh my God. And I still have, oh my God, what am I doing days? Like, are we all like,
sure.
Are you a human being if you don't have a what am I doing day, really?
Right, exactly.
But I think they are much fewer than they would have been if I'd been like much more alone on the journey. So, oh, that was the accident, and here we are.
And here we are. Well, prior to writing lyrics, or poetry, did you take like piano lessons? Were you musically like experiencing, you know, some sort of instrument or anything prior to that?
Yeah. So I learned violin when I was young. I did music theory, and I loved it.
Okay.
And then I started singing, and I actually started doing more kind of classical. I started off doing more classical, like strong operatic singing, which I never do now. But I actually really enjoyed the foundation of it and the kind of, you know, the really technical side of things. And then I basically found like a Broadway songs book in the music room. And I was like, oh, it was like literally like light shone from the book. And it was like, boom. I was like, hey man, I got to try this. And I loved that. And then I started moving more into kind of contemporary pop, you know, alternative, electronic, and that was like the journey. So I did do music before, which is why I was just so happy to find this whole new outlet for me as well. It was weird. Like, honestly, I didn't even think about it. It just, looking back on it now, I'm like, who put that book there? Like, honestly, who put that book there?
Yeah. Do you remember how old you were when you found the book?
I think I must have been about 12 or 13.
Okay.
And it was like 100 top Broadway songs.
Okay.
And I'd never even heard of a lot of these things. And then it was, you know, I'd be like, okay, cool. I was like, to my mom, I was like, what's this? She was like, oh, it's theater. I was like, hang on a second. You know, and it's because then, you know, and then they have the film adaptions. We watch film adaptions. I was like, this is so cool. And I've always loved seeing live performances, like films, not film, sorry, theater, music, you know, opera. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. You sit down, it's like, yeah, like your hair stand up, you got the shivers, because it's just like, nothing compares to it, right? Like you're at soon as and even like I was in just before lockdown, I literally feel like this was the last concert in the UK before lockdown. I went to a Halsey concert, and it was like, as soon as the opening started,
I love her.
Oh man,
other side.
And I was like, one of these sides. And I literally, as soon as it started, I was like tingly. I was like, oh my God, this is why we do this. So I'm
rad.
so glad I found that like path
Mm-hmm.
and ended up like just doing live music. I mean, sometimes I do a little pinch. It's true. I know it's very cliched. It's like you wake up and you're like, is this going to end one day? And I'm like, probably.
Right.
Just enjoy it.
Probably. Well,
Probably.
you said you felt like you talked about falling into it, and how did you get these like the jobs in the studios? Is that what you said? You got like kind of a job in
Yeah.
a studio, and
So we had this thing in my school. It was, I think, quite a lot of places in the UK have it. That you do like 3 to 4 days in a working environment, just when you're in when you just start secondary school, maybe a couple of years after. So it's just basically to get you kind of
like work
some
experience
in work experience. And you kind of either go and you go, I hated that, I know what I'm not doing, or you go, oh, that was kind of cool, maybe I do want to do that. Like, and I ended up in some music studios. A friend of a friend, they knew I liked music and they're like, want to come, and I think my dad knew them, and it was great, and I met these people, and I just remember being like, oh my God, these people are so cool. I was literally sitting there like, I don't know if I should be here. I'm not cool enough for this. And they were so lovely. And I just like, I couldn't ask for a better introduction to people from the music industry. Like, really, I couldn't. And that's, it's true. It's exactly true. I said, they are literally my mentors today. I literally speak to them all the time. I actually spoke to one of them today already. So
that's amazing.
I
That's
feel
really
very
cool.
lucky. I feel very lucky.
What were you doing there? Were you just kind of very basic,
Well,
admin stuff at some point? Like, how did you get to, did they teach you how to record, or were you doing like studio demos, or?
Well, I did a lot of admin stuff for them. And I'll be honest with you, I make a really good cup of tea. So I honed these skills.
There you go. There you
go.
go.
Yeah. Tea and coffee, definitely honed that. But actually on the last day, they brought me into a session and they let me sit on the session and actually do some vocal recording, like backing vocals for the session. And oh my God, man, if I wasn't shaking like a leaf, but I was. And I just remember, like, I actually enjoyed learning the admin process as well. Like, obviously, I learned like this much, and there's a world of it. But it was really interesting, kind of seeing a bit of both sides. And yeah, honestly, like, it was like a light went on in my head when I did that recording session. It was like, this is a thing. Oh my God, I want to do this. And then it just kind of, I couldn't shake it. I got bitten by the bug and I couldn't shake it. And here we are.
Yeah. From that, were you writing
audio connection?
Were you writing were you writing songs at that point, or how did you like kind of achieve the next level? Like, you did this one studio session, and then
I know. It sounds so weird. And then I did start writing like by myself, poorly. I hasten to add, very poorly. I actually found one of the first songs that I properly got recorded, and I listened to it and I was like, oh my God. At what point did you think you were going to do this as a career? Like, but like I said before, you got to start somewhere, and it worked out. But it was honestly like, I don't know. I remember I got home and I was like, all the things that I'd written, like all these kind of lyrics, and basically they said to me before they left, they were like, before I left, they were saying, oh, well, because I said, oh, well, I do some, like, I call it like creative writing, like kind of, and they're like, well, why don't you try putting some melodies to it? Because you've effectively done half the work. And so they were like, just play around with it. And like, come on, if you want to come back, just, whatever. And it literally, I was just kind of taking my teenage angst and pouring it onto a piece of paper and humming melodies. And I didn't record them. I had no way to record them. So, I mean, I maybe some like voice notes, phone stuff and stuff like that. And then I just, eventually I think I kind of worked up the nerve, and I went into the studios and I was like, I want to do my own project. Here's some stuff. And I started, and then they were like, you know, sounds great. Let's get you in with some different writers, that, you know, broaden your kind of your writing horizons a bit. And it just went from there. And then it was just the regular thing, was like, do writing sessions with people, meet some new producers, record some stuff, you know, and then you know, write for other people. I started writing for other people as well, which was amazing because it was like different genres, and I loved that freedom. I love the freedom of going, okay, well, I do kind of electropop, alternative electropop, and then someone goes, oh, I want to do sugar gum pop. It's like, I'm there. I want to do alternative rock. I'm also there. You know, it's like all the little kind of miniature, the different kind of shades of you can all come out in different genres. There's like, you know, there's little parts of me that just sit there, they kind of glow. It's like, okay, today we want to do some kind of like crazy EDM. Like this little bit goes, bing, I'm ready. You haven't used me in a while. I want to do it. And you're like, okay, cool. And then it's like, you know, maybe like some soul, neo soul. It's like, boop. And you're like, okay, cool. You're ready. We're good. I just feel like it, like you get to let out all the different pieces of you if you kind of, if you feel like it, you know, you don't have to. But I enjoy kind of exploring all of that. So that's a really long-winded way of answering that very simple question.
When did you decide to start releasing music of your own? Like, was it around that same time?
Yes, but I actually didn't release it until later. I really wanted to, and in fairness, I was like pushing, and looking back on it now, it wasn't ready. For sure, it wasn't ready, and it was really, you know, and I can understand why they were saying, look, just keep working on it. Like you'll find your groove, you'll find your zone. And I was going, I found my zone. Look, it's right here. Like, listen to it. I've made it. And they were like, look, just keep at it. And actually, to be fair, I was going through a lot. And I actually am eternally grateful that I didn't release it then, because it wasn't ready. It wasn't ready. I wasn't also ready. I wasn't ready at all. I mean, I even, like, you know, like I said, I have moments now where I'm like, what the hell am I doing? What's going on? Oh my God, like, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just genuinely don't think I would have handled it at all well when I was, we waited about a year and a half, I think.
Wow.
And in that year and a half, like, things came on a lot, you know, and I was frustrated at the time, very frustrated at the time, but it's one of those things that, you know, you've got people saying, look, please just trust us, you know, just hang on. And hanging on worked out, actually. So I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, was that your, like, the mentors?
My terrible hairstyle. That grew out as well, so that was good.
Okay. So you had like a whole project kind of ready, and then your mentors, the people around you, were like, yeah, let's wait. And did you create like more songs, or like how did okay.
Yeah, so I had these songs and I was convinced by these songs. I think I had 3 tracks and I was convinced, and I was like, this is it, I'm ready. EP. And they were like, they're good, but, you know, why don't you try and develop more of a body of work, because you've only got a couple of songs. Yeah, I had a lot, but they love it. So I was like, okay, these 3. And they're like, how about you try and create more of a consolidated body of work, so you have a lot more options, you know, and you never know, you may, if you're more in that zone, then things just tend to come together a bit easier. And I mean, I was all over the shop. Like I was like, I think I want to release something like this, then it was this, and then it was this. It was like, it wasn't consolidated at all. I was jumping from genre to genre to you know, I hadn't found my little groove yet. Sure. And the groove changes, like, you know, I mean, I'm not writing the same music as when I started, for sure. And I can hear that and see that, but but it's been like a gradual journey, not a, okay, that's been cool, I'm gonna do this. It's just been like a little kind of sonic traveling journey.
Okay.
That was weird. Sonic traveling journey.
I understood what you're saying. It made sense to me.
Thank you. Well, it makes one of us. It makes one of us.
Right, sure. With that, what was the first song that everybody kind of got aboard and were like, "This is it. Let's put this out"?
I think the first song, certainly the one that sticks in my mind, was I did a collaboration. There's two that stick in my mind actually as being kind of the beginning for me. Was I did a collaboration with a Dutch artist called Mike Magoo, which was really the first time I'd properly collaborated with someone as well. And I remember that was really cool because it was a whole new experience for me anyway. And I also I think that was I think it was one of the first proper music videos I ever did as well. Oh, so it was a moment. I mean, that's definitely a moment for me. And then I had a song called Neon Dancer, and we did it we did this trippy as hell music video. And I remember that was also just like moment of excitement because it was kind of like a consolidation of all the shit I'd been chatting for about a year and a half. And it was like, okay, now she gets it. Okay. It's just very like, I finally and for me, it was also, oh my God, it's come together. It can be done. Nice. And I remember that those two songs for me were really the beginning, I think, of where I felt comfortable doing my own stuff. And also I think people around me kind of got it more. And I got it more as well. So
sure. So once you put those out and you did the videos, like what was like kind of was there like a moment that you're like a pivotal moment that kind of, took you to the next level?
I don't think so. I think it's more for me, it's been a gradual, well, obviously it's a bit like this, but it's been a gradual growth thing for me. And I'm happy with that. I would love, don't get me wrong, if someone said, you can have this song is gonna reach, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million streams, and just overnight. I mean, of course, what am I gonna be like? No, sorry, I'm into slow growth.
I'm into slow growth.
Yes, but I mean, I've always taken the view, like, just as long as you're not standing still and you're moving forwards, brilliant. I'm so happy with that. And it's always so easy, and I get stuck in it sometimes. I find it really easy to go, oh, I haven't done enough, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. And then I always make a point of trying to be like, okay, so what were you thinking last year? Probably exactly the same thing. Right, what's different? Actually, quite a lot of things are different. So I always try and bring it back a little bit, because as much as I would, and we all want that big moment, and I'm still looking for that big moment,
Sure.
And it would be completely unrealistic to say I wasn't. But I'm as long as I'm moving forward and trying new stuff and like releasing more music and connecting with people as much as I can, I count that as my slow growth. Slow growth for the win.
There's something to be said about slow growth, because you have these artists that, have one TikTok hit, and then what happens to them? They're 17, 18 years old. They get, X million streams, and then, okay, now do it again. And they can't, what I mean?
I think the pressure of that is intense. Like, I can't imagine. I actually I'm so impressed with people who just keep cracking on, because I mean, if you have something that's like, a massive, like a huge TikTok or something, it's like, well, that's amazing. I'd sit there thinking, well, shit, what am I going to do next?
Right. How am I going to follow
that?
Then
like, oh God, and I mean, people smash it. I'm in awe of people. Like, people just smash it as well. So, I mean, which is amazing. And I don't know what I'd do in that situation. Freak out heavily, probably. I'd probably spend way too much time doing that. And then I'd probably go back to the slow growth model. Just keep at it.
Yeah.
No, I know. Look, I'm very grateful for every single listener, follower that I have. So, I mean, as much as, we all would love to have that big pivotal moment, break, whatever. I think you also make your own luck as well. As long as you keep going on it, you can hopefully open some more doors for yourself, create some more opportunities, and you never know. Maybe that moment's just right around the corner. Maybe I just got to use TikTok more.
Exactly.
I was doing a TikTok the other day, and my neighbor was definitely watching through the window and judging heavily.
Like, what is she doing in there?
yeah, and it was. I didn't post it for a reason. Let's put it that way. But sadly, there is one witness. There is a witness to the thing.
Maybe they were filming it, and it's on their TikTok.
Oh God, no! Oh no. Okay, well, now I'm going to have a look for it and possibly lose sleep over it, but great.
Sorry about that.
No, I'm joking.
But like, I don't know, but like you're saying, slow growth. I mean, your song is still, I'm looking on Spotify, they have millions of plays. So it's not like you're here. I mean, you've achieved quite a bit of success. Thank here.
You. Oh no, I'm so happy, and just I'm so grateful for all of like I said, every single play. I mean, I think 50% of them are my mom, but I'm still grateful for that.
She's got like 40 computers going at one time.
Yeah, she's literally like in a digital farm. This is
farming streams.
Yes. People who know my mom will be like, yeah, she struggles to turn her phone on. That's not gonna happen. Right. Honestly, I don't know what it is with her and technology. She's like the opposite of Electro. She just like, it just like rejects her. Literally, she's like, oh, my thumbprint thing isn't working. And I was like, come on, you're being silly. So I was like, see, look, it works, it's fine. Well, also know, trying to talk through technology with your parents is always just like,
yeah, so fun.
and then she was like, okay, well, why doesn't it work with mine? I was like, you're just not doing it right. Put it on. And literally, this phone denied her entry, just wouldn't do it. And I was like, what is wrong with your thumb? Honestly, like, did you sure you used that hand? She was like, yes.
Right. I was gonna say, she has the right finger.
Yeah, we tried them all. I even redid her fingerprint for her. And I was like, we're going to use this thumb. And I was like putting it on there for her. I was like, didn't work. Didn't work. It just was like, literally, the phone was just like, he was like, no. You will not call your friends today.
Exactly. Well, pre-pandemic, were you able to have a chance to tour or perform at all? Like, tell me about your live experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it feels like forever ago, but I did some live stuff in Europe. I did some shows in where was it? Germany, Poland, wow. And in Prague, the city of Prague, and it was amazing. It was great. We did some in London. Honestly, does it not feel like forever ago?
I know.
Like, if someone said to me, oh, it's just a year, it's like, just a year, right? It feels like half my life.
Yeah, sure. It's coming up on a year. I don't even remember exactly. It was like, I think like in the next few days, it's been exactly a year since. It's the 8th. Was it like the 13th or something? I think it was the 13th when everything shut down.
It's coming up, yeah.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, okay, so you were able to do some performing and everything. Well, where were you when this all happened? Were you working on something to put out and you had to put it on pause? Were you getting ready to do a string of shows? Like, okay.
Yeah, it was going to be shows. Unfortunately, it was quite a few gigs, and we had a really nice lineup for the summer as well in terms of festivals. And honestly, it was actually quite crushing for all of it to just be cancelled, or pretty much like within a week. Everything just kind of went. As soon as Glastonbury went, that was it. No one was doing anything because
Sure.
and it was just. Look, I get it. I completely get it, and I think it's unrealistic to expect that many festivals this summer, to be honest. I've heard some rumors about some maybe late summer, but I don't know, to be honest. I think it's so up in the air, and to try and, you can only be ready for it. So I'll get back on rehearsing with my band, who are just amazing anyway. So I miss them. And even if all we do is rehearse and hang out, I mean, I'd say that's worthwhile. So
Sure. Have you had a chance to play at all or practice at all as far as that goes?
Not really.
Wow.
And sadly, the rehearsal studio that we normally use is actually shut down permanently during the pandemic. So I know it's crazy. And it's all been really, really odd. I've been trying not to get too not think about it too much, because it gets a bit kind of
depressing.
Oh shit, it's nearly been a year, no gigs, blah blah blah. But it's been a good time to work on vocal stuff and vocal exercises and things like that. It's been really good for us. So I've tried to make the most of it, so I'm ready when live comes back, if that makes sense.
No, totally. Have you been able to write and produce new music, or are you kind of where you at okay?
Yeah.
How's that been?
Kind of interesting. It's kind of the one good thing, I guess, that's come from this. So Zoom sessions, I started off hating them. And I was like, I can't do this. And luckily at that point, they were going, oh, it's only going to be a month or two. I was like, fine, month or two.
You can handle it.
Yeah, I can probably do that. And then obviously classic, another month. It was like, okay, so let's just write off a year.
Right.
Great. And then I basically said to myself, I was like, you have to enjoy these. You have to find a way to enjoy these, because you can't spend a whole year just dreading every session that comes along, especially because I love writing with people. So it was, so I basically, so my therapist's idea, because I was getting so frustrated, her idea was, okay, well, it's going to be different. Why don't you just see how many songs, start off, how many songs can you write in a week? Great. Just try and reach a number of songs. She goes, and so, some of them are going to be great. Some of them are going to be good. Some of them are going to be okay. And some of them are going to be really, really shit. Because that's just how it goes. She's like, you just got to, why not see which of the, how many shit ones you write in a week and to make, and, have fun with it. Be like, oh, I did 3 shit ones this week. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, 2 this week. Cool. And, we kind of turn it around, make it more of like a game. And
how many can I make this week?
How many can I make this week? Oh, well, 4 were utter dog shit, but the rest are okay.
Right.
It's a pretty decent ratio for me. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But I suppose on the upside is that because now Zoom sessions are actually I'm now really enjoying them. Just as the pandemic ends, by the way.
Right.
Go.
But I wonder if these will continue though, because I've heard both ends of this. Like some people are like, I really like it because I can do a whole session and then just walk in the other room and take a nap, or if it's in the middle of the night, or how, especially with time differences. I'm sure you could write with people in Los Angeles and everything else so much easier now.
Definitely. And actually that's just been you're right, it's a huge positive. I've been writing with people from literally all over the world. Last couple of sessions, LA, Mumbai, obviously the UK, other places in the US, and it's crazy. Would we be doing this if it wasn't for COVID?
Probably
Definitely
not. Yeah.
I mean, and literally Zoom sessions pre-COVID for me were how desperate are they? Can we not meet today? Okay, we'll do a Zoom. Right. You know what I mean? It was how time sensitive it is. Oh, and you need it in the next couple of hours. Okay, well, to save travel time and whatever, or maybe they're in a different country. we'll hop on a Zoom and figure it out. But now it's like, it's so normal, you know.
Right.
I actually think it will stick around. I think you're right. I think it's gonna become quite a regular thing.
It's interesting because everybody knows how to use it now. I mean, my
Even
wife
my
is in
mom.
like right, exactly. I mean, she does like she's been doing Zoom stuff. She's always like been in the online world for her work. And like, I
cool.
only knew about Zoom because of her. Like, she would do these things. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of, I'm like, so this is like Skype, but like, but okay, like, I don't really get it, but like, you can share screens. Like, that's cool. And then now
really
everybody,
cool.
like you just said, your mom knows it, and my mom knows how to use it. Like, it's just so crazy.
I know. What I find super weird though is that it was Zoom and not Skype. Do you know what I mean? Like, because Skype was such a thing. Well, was it a thing? But it was more of a thing in my world, in my knowledge, than Zoom was. I only heard of Zoom because of the pandemic.
Right, exactly. And I think that's 90% of the world. Like, they totally, I don't know how they totally screwed that up. I mean,
it is so weird because you just go, you know, if someone would have said, all right, okay, you're going to have a video messaging service, you know, well, Skype.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Okay.
But now I'd be like, oh, Zoom.
Right. Exactly. You're like, what's Skype? You know, like, I wonder if that company are they even around anymore? I mean, they probably just totally went under.
I have no idea. They're probably very upset right now.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Skype.
I'm sure their CEO got canned in like 2 weeks into the pandemic. Like, how did you mess this up?
So bizarre. It's like the one thing that people needed in the pandemic.
They had already been doing.
I know.
Oh man.
Oh wait, well, who am I to talk, man? I haven't had a show in ages. I mean, I'm CEO of my project. I should can myself. What's going on?
Exactly. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, well, tell me about the most recent song that you put out. Was High Season. Was that something that you had written prior to the pandemic, or was that something you actually had a chance to record and write, you know, over Zoom or whatever, or Skype?
Actually, that sorry, RIP Skype. It's been real. Actually, High Season was pre-pandemic. That I had a lot of plans to release a lot more music, but various things happened, and I ended up spacing them out a lot more than I wanted to. But hey, they're out, so does, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
And so we that was written on a writing camp that I was on in Spain. I know it's like, feels like travel now is like so mysterious. It was like It was in Spain. Mythical place. And we had this amazing day, you know. It just all came together really easily. We all got on really well, and it just we had a collection of songs from there actually, and we gradually we put them out now, and they've all worked quite, if in my mind they've worked quite well in succession of each other, and so interestingly though, the next couple of songs are aside from one, have been recorded in lockdown, and some of them written in lockdown as well. So it's coming. It's weird because I feel like as soon as we leave lockdown, I'm going to be releasing lockdown songs.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but it, you know, whatever.
It is, that's how it's going to be. Well, how are you doing the recording sessions over Zoom? Do you have a studio at your house, or like be able to kind of go in somewhere and be safe?
Well, I can, yes, definitely. Safety always first. And the one good thing about the studio is there's not, you know, it's quite isolated in the rooms, are very isolated. Like I have my room there, and to be honest, most people are working from home. So I've actually been working from home as well. I've got a really, really average setup, but a decent mic, and my laptop and an interface sorted, basically, you know. And it's been fun. Actually, you know, I quite enjoy doing the self-recording, like taking the time over it, and, you know, really, like, you know, really getting it as perfect as you possibly can, because there's no one, you're not holding someone up,
right.
So you haven't, as much as it's amazing to have a producer or an engineer there who can do all the
things,
controls. I did that, like, I don't record myself, like people. But you know what I mean? Like, it's so nice to have someone there to help you. But also on the flip side, I can literally spend hours doing it because I just want to make it as good as I can make it, basically. And I'm not kind of worried about, you got to take your dog out. Shit. Okay. Yeah. Right. Your sofa's done by now. Sorry.
Right. Do you feel like you can over analyze it a bit too, in that sense? Like, where you're like, I could do that better. And then you spend another 2-3 hours trying to make it a little bit better. And, I don't know.
Have you been spying on me? Jeez. This is exactly what happens. No, it's true. It's been like, it's definitely been a trial and error kind of process. Cause it's so annoying when you've spent 2 to 3 hours on something, you go back to the original and you're like, well, that's just better.
Right.
What have I done? So I think sometimes, like, taking a break, oh my God, taking a break is so important for me, because otherwise I just go down this rabbit hole and I'm like in it. Oh, that word doesn't sound quite right. I must redo the whole thing. It's like, come on, it's very easy to get a little bit obsessive about it. So I mean, and luckily my partner does music. He's very used to hearing the singing. Oh, for fuck's sakes, down the mic. So he's like, I think it's time for a break. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds about right.
That's amazing. Well, so you have more songs ready to come out then? What do you...
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, is there a timeline there, or like is there like a full piece of work, or just more singles?
More singles, actually, but they do. I like to think that they flow nicely together as well. So my goal this year is to kind of put out 4 tracks. Given me, because I don't want to. I'd rather people actually had a chance to listen to the songs before it's like, all right, forget that one, new one.
Right.
It's just like, I have a terrible attention span, but even I think that would be a bit quick. So that's the goal. 4 songs, maybe 5, I don't know. And then I'm kind of holding on to the hope that towards the end of the year there will be some live stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to get any expectations up or anything for anyone to go, oh, finally I can go to a festival. And then it's like, she said we could go. I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
It's all your fault.
Don't listen to me. Jeez, I don't even listen to me. I should definitely take some of my own advice sometimes. That's for sure.
Speaking of which, my last question for you is if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Oh, slow growth.
Growth.
in fairness, like, I think though, for the first thing that I don't know what I expected when I first put out my first song. But I think I approached it emotionally in the wrong way. And I put a lot of stock in the stats, in the success of the song, that I actually forgot to enjoy the fact that I was doing what I wanted to be doing. And I was just so lucky to be doing that. And I think, I think just kind of stopping and like looking around and going, oh my God, I get to release music that sometimes people dig. It's like, great. Like, I can't imagine doing anything else. And that, like, I guess that was my first, I've made many, but my first biggest mistake, I think, tying yourself emotionally to statistics and numbers and things like that. It's a recipe for disaster. Absolutely. Because you can have, I don't know, I know people who've done extremely well and they're still not happy, and it's, what I've loved now is the connection with people, meeting people through music. When people message me, it's amazing. And like, we're sharing this moment across the world through a piece of music. I mean, that for me is like, if you can, and look, I'd be lying if I said I don't look at stats and I'm like stat free. That's not true at all. And I never would be, I'm afraid. But I think learning to kind of just enjoy, and it sounds so cliche and so like rainbows and unicorns and all these things, but it's work. It's like you're working, you have to work at it. I mean, I basically tied my confidence and my worth of my music to these numbers, which really at the end of the day meant nothing. I'd rather have 10 people who love the song rather than like 100,000 who went, listen for 30 seconds, it was fine. You know what I mean? So I think that's been a big growth thing for me. Like, and if I could have somehow like inceptioned that into my brain when I was younger, I would have appreciated it. So I'm trying to inception to other people's brains. Bringing it backward.